The movies nominated for the Oscars this year are highlighting the power of the so-called Blacklist. It's an annual catalog of scripts Hollywood insiders love, but a majority of the films do not see the light of day.
CBS This Morning, Saturday, co-host Alex Wagner, who's also a contributing editor for The Atlantic, writes about the Blacklist in a new article. She says it helped launch careers and push studios to think beyond sequels and action flicks.
Alex Wagner is here now to talk more about what she found. Thanks for joining us.
Always a pleasure to see you guys.
So 335 of these scripts have been made?
Yeah. So it has a great batting average.
Yeah.
300, right? I'm
$26 billion.
Right. Yeah. And a lot of these movies make money, but The Blacklist has really become an index of the best, most creative writing in Hollywood. And perhaps its most disruptive power is giving agency to the writers, who are often the lowest on the food chain in Hollywood. And it's doubled down on really interesting creative dramas in a time when Hollywood isn't really making those movies anymore.
So we should point out to our viewers that the Blacklist is not the Blacklist of the 40s and 50s where people like Dalton Trumbo were on.
Correct.
But he did name, Franklin Leonard did name the Blacklist in honor or as an homage to those folks.
He wanted to invert the way we use the term black, which is often in negative terms, and he wanted to change the way we thought of the Blacklist. It's something that everyone wants to be on in this day and age, as opposed to wanting to avoid entirely in the mid-century of the 20th century.
And so my question, though, is, you know, as a film nerd, I love superhero movies and I love sequels, but I'm also a big fan of indie films and movies that make you think, like The Imitation Game or Argo. Or Django. And even 100 years after the birth of Hollywood, there are still executives that are saying, look, this is a great idea, but it's not going to make any money, so let's go make Superman versus Batman like part 2.
Right. Well, so I love those big movies too, and I think the quality of the writing in those movies and the casting has definitely gotten better. But because DVD sales really made the industry take a hit in terms of revenue, the industry has a whole new model for what kind of movies they're going to back, what kind of movies they're going to greenlight and make. And those tend to be tentpole franchise movies like The Fast and the Furious that do well overseas. That's just where they're going to make money. So they're making fewer and fewer of these character-driven, medium-sized dramas, the kind of stuff that's nominated during the Academy Awards. The Blacklist is great because for the people who are interested in financing those movies, which in a lot of cases are independent financiers like Teddy Schwartzman or Megan Ellison, this is a great index of great scripts and great writing. And it makes these movies, it helps them get a leg up in a really fiercely competitive landscape.
How much does it upend some of the biases within the system? You know, it's been tough for women, it's been tough for minorities.
I think, well, you know, there are a couple discrete cases where Hollywood has egg on its face, I think. The Butler is one example I talk about in the film. The Hunger Games is another. Initially, studio execs were like, oh, I don't know that people are going to watch a movie with a female teenage protagonist, The Hunger Games. I don't know that people want to see a Black American history movie. And so they backed away, and it was, especially in the case of The Butler, really difficult to find financing for these films, despite the fact that sometimes they had great star potential and the fact that they were on the blacklist. They've since been made, and they've done gangbusters. And so I think there is a soft indictment of Hollywood and the sort of presuppositions a lot of these industry execs make when they're saying this movie will do well and this movie won't.
It's just fascinating because and you put this in, it's a fascinating piece. I urge everybody to go onto The Atlantic and read it and see your piece on CBS This Morning. But, you know, when you think about, I'm pitching to you and I say, I've got a great story about a gay mathematician living in the 40s. And you're an exec, you're going to go, is there a guy in a cape in it?
Right. No, and you know, Franklin is sympathetic to the decisions and the sort of like the pyramid of decisions that Hollywood makes when it looks at what it's going to fund, right? But with the case of The Imitation Game, a studio bought it and then returned it. They said, you know, it's just, the script's too small for us. And eventually an independent financier, Teddy Schwartzman, came in and said, I'm going to make this movie. The fact that it had been #1 on the Blacklist, Graham Moore, the writer of the movie, credits with actually getting the movie made. It was a real accelerant. We might not have seen The Imitation Game were it not for.
So just out of curiosity, though, you know, often when you get sort of the thumbs up that you're bankable, it means you can make more movies in the future. Has this helped propel careers moving forward?
Certainly for writers, right? I mean, if you have a script on the Blacklist, regardless of whether the movie gets made, you are made for a moment in Hollywood, right? I think one of the things that Franklin's trying to do is democratize the process of Hollywood, make it more transparent. He started a script writing review service online so that people from all over the country, all over the world, moms in West Georgia, can submit scripts and get them seen by industry professionals, as opposed to having to move to LA and work in the mailroom room of a big studio. Not everybody can do that.
Fascinating.
Yeah.
I've actually written a couple of screenplays.
Oh, there you go. Get on that Blacklist.
Now
One
we know
got optioned years ago. Yeah.
You're a man of so many talents.
Very few.
I mean, next stop,
Talk
the
to my mom.
Blacklist.
She'll tell you I have no talent.
Oh, please. That's what moms say, dude.
Alex Wagner, always good to have you.
Always good to see you.
Thank you.
Thank you.